So there I am, waking up and getting ready for my day when a hot new City Nerd video drops. It's another classic City Nerd Top 10 video, this time discussing the 10 best college towns, and it made me think, does Canada have college towns? And if so, can we build it in City Skylines 2? I'm Canadian Moose Plays, and this is City Skylines 2.
Sometimes I feel like that I'm in love.
For this video, we will be focusing on Canadian universities as they seem to fit the mold of American college towns best. Likewise, I wanted to follow City Nerd's criteria in identifying these cities as cities where the university enrollment is over 25% of the population and no suburban universities of major cities. So does Canada have anything that fits within that criteria? Well, as I began my research, things were not looking good. So many amazing contestants stepped up to bat. The University of Guelph in Guelph, Ontario was off by 6,582. Western University in London, Ontario was off by 92,535. And the University of Victoria was off by only 946. And also has an insanely cool layout reminiscent of one of the most unique Australian cities, Canberra. Just as I was getting ready to call it, one final city came to mind, a place I am all too familiar with, beautiful Kamloops, British Columbia, and Thompson Rivers University. And with an enrollment of 27,632 compared to a population of 97,902, over 25% of the population is enrolled. The city I was raised in stepped up to bat and hit a home run. So what did I learn from this experience? While a majority of small Canadian cities don't have enrollments over 25% of their population, I was surprised by the beauty and infrastructure I encountered. I mean, check out the road layout of Guelph. This is begging to be designed in City Skylines, or the stunning architecture of the University of New Brunswick, a truly beautiful sight to see. So while Thompson Rivers University may have won this time, I would love to hear your suggestions for cities in Canada that fit the earlier mentioned criteria. Let's dive into the game and see if we can create a fully functional college town. So while Kamloops may have won, the University of Victoria really stood out to me, and I think it will make for an extremely fun build in this video. So let's dive into the city of Youngstown that has been the backdrop for the previous urbanism installments. In City Skylines 2, you can unlock multiple tiles that are disconnected, and if we take a look at the map, this plot here looks like the perfect spot, and even kind of resembles a scaled down Victoria. But before we purchase any tiles, we have some things we need to consider first, such as services. Electricity, water, and sewage. Since you cannot drag underground pipes and power or upgrade highways with streetlights outside of purchased tiles, we must come up with in-tile solutions. And this is why I think it's crucial to purchase tiles with some water access unless you plan on using the water treatment facility. If we were to use the water treatment facility though, we should first see where the pockets of underground water are located before purchasing tiles. This spot here seems to have us covered, so let's purchase some tiles. Now we need an interchange, but before we can do that, it's terraforming time. Perfect. Now, let's build an interchange. Now we need a main street with some shops, and we can't forget about fire, police, and healthcare. All three of the small city service assets are stunning and fit this small town look and feel. When zoning, I recommend starting with smaller sizes and using selective zoning. So let's get this main street zoned up.
There's nothing better in this world than the first sip of a nice cold beer after a long day.
Next up, we need some suburbs. So let's expand on Main Street. I get asked about starting layouts and road hierarchy, and to be honest, when it comes to how I lay roads and craft realistic looking cities or towns, it almost always starts with Google Maps. So I recommend finding a country, and even more specifically, a certain part of the country, whether that be a province or a state, and seeing what cities inspire you, and using that as inspiration for your starting layouts. Now that we have people living here, we can finally begin the university layout. Let's take a look again at the University of Victoria. Magnificent, isn't it? Let's lay down some of the infrastructure, and since we can't place buildings on paths similar to the University DLC in City Skylines 1, I am going to opt for the pedestrian roads instead. Another thing I want to take into account is using the one pedestrian path we get as a sort of future bike lane. A very close friend of mine, Teddy Radko, brought up an excellent point, telling me that he imagines when they add bikes, the bike path would likely be the same size as the pedestrian path. And I completely agree with this. This is something I encourage all of you to start implementing in your cities for the eventual bike future we will have, assuming they sort the sim animations. Now that we have some parts of the layout placed down, let's figure out buildings. Checking the progression tree under Education and Research, we can see that the college unlocks with 1 development point, and the Technical University, University, and Medical University unlock with 2 development points. I'm going to combine those with the high school and elementary school and see what I can come up with. So let's dive in. Now that we have some buildings placed, it's time for my favorite part, paths and detailing. I have mentioned it many times before, but I am in love with the paths in City Skylines 2. With their clean connections and ability to connect and create pedestrian crossings with other networks. So let's lay some paths and detail this place up.
Allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime he might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of suicidal mania.
Overall, I am really happy with these results. And the fact that we could create an entire functioning university city or a college town completely separate from our main city, or even as its entire build. It's extremely exciting. Of course, we are missing a ton of stuff to fully capture the feel of these places, such as placing assets with only sidewalk connections, asset variety, and of course, bike infrastructure. I'm still very happy with the results. So there you have it, city builders. As we continue creating cities in City Skylines 2, if you ever feel stuck, Google Maps or any of the amazing urbanism channels out there can be such incredible inspiration to help you push through the city building writer's block and create realistic, beautiful cities with character. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to the people that support me over on Patreon and Ko-fi. Disney Dude 1, Shane Turner, Fish Bob, Braygard, the Yed _ Anthropophagic, the Jonah, Trevor Sabo, Poplar Ponderosa, and Steve Burkett. Thank you all so much for the support. I'm Canadian Moose Plays. This was City Skylines 2, and I'll catch you all in another video real soon. Happy building, eh?